Hello dears, Natalie Locke here. I don't even have my headphones. Okay, hopefully the audio's good. Otherwise I'll re-record this later. This is episode 7 of Write the Story, where I give you writing prompts out of my book and let you know how it worked out between me outlining and then writing the actual story. If you would like to join in, you are more than welcome after I give you the writing prompt and the 10 words you should include to follow what I do, which is outline for 5 minutes and then finish writing the story within 20 minutes. Now, being a parent, I totally understand if things happen. Luckily, I didn't have as many interruptions this time, but it was still kind of slow for me to get the words on the page because I kind of went a sci-fi route with this and I was trying to make up words as I was writing. Didn't quite work out. Either way, the writing prompt and the 10 words are business as unusual. The 10 words are housewife, moonwalk, dog, basement, conclude, alien, ignore, lightning, embrace, time. Now with my outline, I had fun with it. Because one of the words was alien, of course I went a sci-fi route with this. Just a smidge, but I kind of still had fun with it. I actually made this a little more dialogue heavy than I normally do, and I thought it was going to be all dialogue when I wrote my outline. My outline ended up being just conversation points, back and forth between a human and 2 aliens. But I ended up changing it a little bit. So I decided to set this in an abandoned farmhouse basement, which turned out to not be abandoned. Then the aliens turned when a woman came down the stairs with a shotgun, said, "Oh, look, it's the housewife." And then she replies, "No, it's the owner," which I was kind of proud of. The owner says, "You and your dog can conclude your business elsewhere." So got the word conclude there, and dog. At one point, I was going to have the aliens call her an alien, and she's like, "Wait a second, you're on my planet. I'm not the alien, you are." I don't know why I wanted to do that. It just came to me. I'm going to blame my characters for talking back to me. At one point, I did want the characters, the aliens, to ignore the woman. And then her to actually get upset and be like, "Hey, don't ignore me." And there was actually a reason to it, which I didn't get into the story, but I'm going to explain all the behind the text since I only had like 300 words space for this short story. The other thing I said was to get Moonwalk in there was she was trying to defend that we've been in space for over 50 years. The Moonwalk was 50 years ago. And the alien responds like, "Yeah, well, we've been in space for like 1,000 or 50 light years and we've been to 1,000 moons." So he kind of shot her down on that. They shot her down on that. I made sure the aliens did not have gender. That was a difficult thing for me. I'll explain that too. The other thing was the alien responded that time for humans is so centralized around our own world. And I really like that line. But spoiler alert, I ended up not including it. That's not how I incorporated time. So that's one thing that didn't change. The next is, as the aliens leave, there was lightning without sound, and which made the woman embrace the post, one of the wood posts on her front porch. So out of all the words, the only one that did not stay the same was time, where I wanted to say time was so centralized around humans' own space, our own planet, our own, like, it was very selfish how we view time. And I really wish I kept that in. And if I might actually start this story so that I could expand upon it, because I'm kind of interested to see where this could go. This time, 9 out of 10 words stayed the same. The 10th word, time, changed. Now, I'm going to read the story to you. Flix and Zay rummaged through the farmhouse basement. "Why would you lose the Jexper?" Flix asked as they moved a box. "Well, I didn't do it on purpose." Zay nudged through a stack of magazines with their nose. You try to operate with only one orifice to talk, eat, and pick up things through. Click. Flix and Zay's head snapped around to the bottom of the stairs. It's the housewife, Zay said. The woman had a shotgun pointed at them both. I'm the owner, she replied, swinging the barrel between the two. You and your dog can conclude your business elsewhere. I am not a dog any more than he is human, Zay returned to the stack of magazines. The woman shook her head and tightened her grip on her shotgun. Either way, you both are invited to leave. Flix turned to the floor, spotting the Jexper behind the box they just moved. Found it, they called to Zay. Zay trotted next to Flix. All right, alien, we're leaving. Flix and Zay walked past the woman, up the stairs, and out the front door. Hey, I'm not the alien, buddy. This is my planet, the woman yelled from her porch. Well, we have lived longer than you, Flix continued walking in the woman's front yard, and then climbed invisible stairs. Not to be ignored, the woman spoke up. Well, we've been to space. Our moonwalk was over 50 years ago. Flix shook his head and turned to face her, looking as if they were floating 10 feet off the ground. Zay disappeared next to Flix's side. We have been in space for over 50 light years and to 1,000 moons. Sorry to disturb your domicile. Flix nodded and disappeared like Zay did. There was a flash of lightning, making the woman embrace the post on her porch. This was a time she wished she had video surveillance. So, with this story, I'm actually really proud of it. I wasn't sure where I was headed with it, but once I read through all the 10 words, I was able to kind of start painting a picture in my head on what I was going to do with the story. Overall, I feel I did really good with showing versus telling. I mean, you didn't know that Zay was a dog until the woman called him a dog. And even then, it's not a dog. Zay is another body. I don't know. Zay looks like a dog, but they are not a dog. And Flix looks like a human, but they are not a human. So I had fun with that aspect. And it was also really challenging for me because I noticed as I was writing, I started putting pronouns to them. And I'm like, no. Even though in my head, I would associate them as both male, I wanted to make sure that wasn't conveyed in any way. I wanted to be really fluid on what they were. So next is my least favorite line. My least favorite line, honestly, is the last line. This was a time she wished she had video surveillance. I think the reason this is my least favorite line is because I really wish I was able to incorporate the line for that time is so centered around our own planet or our own space. Like, we created the concept of how we measure our time. Time exists across all space, but we created our own measurement. And of course we would. I mean, you got to create a measurement based off what you know. But I kind of wanted a situation of where aliens kind of look at us as selfish or not smart or something because we created it ourselves. So I found that interesting. An interesting concept, and I really wish I was able to incorporate it, but that's why the last line is not my favorite. My favorite line actually has nothing to do with the words at all, and it was when Flix and Zay said, it's the housewife, and she said, I'm the owner. I thought that was a great comeback, and it's kind of fighting gender stereotypes, because when you think of a farmer, you don't think of a woman, you think of a man, and I really like that I was able to do that, and had the wherewithal to do that. I'm kind of happy with myself on that, not to toot my own horn, but that is my favorite line and my least favorite line, and I appreciate you spending time with me with the different surroundings as I'm sitting in my car between meetings and appointments that I have today. But I definitely am glad that I was able to get another story done, and I'm really proud of this one. I could see starring this story and going somewhere with it. I don't know if I would be following Flix and Zay, or if what else I would do. But yeah, we'll have fun with it. As always, have a good day, have a good week, have a good month, have a good year.